It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight, I'm here with
Melody Fafa Botufe.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
The net loss for the gold for reserves in 2024 was 3.8 billion Ghana cedis.
Gold for oil and gold for reserves programs still on the front burner as central bank governor details losses incurred by the government. We'll be hearing more from him. Also coming up, another journalist assaulted. This time is the Eastern Region correspondent of Accra-based Peace FM. We'll be hearing how a policeman attacked him. And later on Eyewitness News, Ghana's biggest annual travel experience, the Heritage Caravan, is sold out 5 hours after it was announced on the Citi breakfast show. We'll tell you what to expect on this spectacular 8-day unforgettable journey across Ghana. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Africa Center for Energy Policy urges long-term measures to prevent future power sector liabilities.
As in 50 minutes from the Citi business desk, Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations, including Beach 105.5 FM, Sky 93.5 FM, both based in Takoradi. We are also on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani, Hammers Radio 106.5 FM in Gosso, Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi, as well as Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In Tajevu on Revival 99.3 FM in Tamale, in Bimbila, on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. On Tanga 93.7 FM in Bolga, Pure 100.5 FM in Navrongo, Tungsun 97.3 FM in Wa, and Jirapa 96.1 FM in Jirapa. We are live on YouTube, live on Facebook. We are also live on X. You can join the discussion by sending messages 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. We start off with the central bank now, shall we, Fafa?
Well, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Johnson Isiama, says losses incurred under the Gold for Oil and Gold for Reserves programs were due to discrepancies within the two initiatives. Appearing before Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, Dr. Isiama presented a detailed breakdown of the losses recorded over the years and assured lawmakers that corrective measures are being implemented to address the challenges identified.
In 2022, the net losses for the gold for oil was about 74.44 million Ghana cedis. We did not have a net loss for the gold for reserves in 2022. Then in 2023, the net loss for the gold for oil was 317.69 million in 2023. On the other hand, the net loss for the gold for reserves, the losses in 2023 was 1,054.84 Ghana cedis. A little over 1 billion was the net loss for the gold for reserves in 2023. Then in 2024, the net loss for the gold for oil was 1.8 billion Ghana cedis in 2024. On the other hand, the net loss for the gold for reserves in 2024 was 3.8 billion Ghana cedis. Now, for 2025, and as we have indicated, this data is under audit, and we will want to wait until the audit is over. We will publish our financials by March this year. When we publish it, the data for 2025 will be provided in those financials. Since we canceled the gold for oil in May last year, we haven't seen a build-up of queues at the pumps, because one of the objectives for the gold for oil was to support that. And so we believe that the cancellation was worth it. There were quite too many issues under the gold for oil that we needed to unearth. And therefore, the board authorized an external audit. We got PPA approval for the audit just about 2 months ago. And so that exercise is underway. In the case of the gold for reserves, as the name suggests, the objective was to help us build reserves. Now, based on the data that NA has provided so far, the evidence is clear that it is not a question of shutting it down, but it's a question of enhancing its efficiency, looking at inefficiencies that you have to take out. And that is why we went after gold board. I also have a table here I can give to you. You see the reductions that we have brought to bear.
Well, you heard the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, speaking at today's Public Accounts Committee hearing.
So the issue of the gold for reserves and gold for oil, two policies of the central bank, were up for discussion, and that's where you heard the Governor answer questions. Dr. Kabiru Tia Mahama is NPP Member of Parliament for Wale Wale. He's a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, Doc.
Thank you very much, Brother Omar.
Was it before your committee that the Governor was speaking?
No, the Governor spoke at the Public Accounts Committee.
Okay, PAC, great.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you followed. What are your key takeaways from the submissions he made about net losses, in particular on the two major policies of the BOG?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I would want to commend the government that they are trying to bring finality to the issue of losses that were occasioned following the government decision to introduce the gold for oil and the gold for reserves program. Second of all, I expected the government to have been adequately prepared, because you will follow when the honorable member for ATY East, or so, Honorable Abena Asari, asked what were the sources of those particular figures, whether he could point to specific reports, either in the 2024 financial statement or any statement preceding that, to justify the figures he was mentioning as losses as a result of gold for reserves. The governor actually asked for more time, and that they should give him time to produce that. And I was thinking that the government, having heard of the issue, having fully prepared to come and answer the issue, would have gone with accompanying document. You see, it's not just enough for the government to give figures and to say that because I'm the governor of Ghana, you should believe those figures. In the second place, there is an auditor report. That auditor report for 2025 did not capture the figures he's making. So is it the case that he deliberately omitted those particular figures? And now, because there are issues and because of the political nature of the issues, he's now bringing them. I refer you to page 59 of the 2024 annual report and financial statement of the Bank of Ghana. Clearly, that page specifically mentioned the 317 million Ghana Citi that were losses as a result of gold for oil for 2023, and an additional 1.8 million as losses for gold for oil for 2024. Nowhere has the report mentioned any losses occasioned by gold for reserve program. And that gives us the difficulty, because when we push and you are trying to justify that you are making losses from gold trading and from gold for reserve program, you're not trying to go back to justify by putting, or if you like, generating mining data to support your argument. And that, I think, is the lowest part of the government's governance presentation, because he ought to have gone to the committee with the report that supports, or the auditor report that supports his argument. In any case, when they asked about 2025, his argument was that it's not audited the 2025, so we want to be careful. So where is the auditor report that supports the figure for the losses in 2023 and 2024 for the gold for reserve program? For gold for oil, we are not talking about it, because it's a conclusive, the matter has been determined conclusively that there were some policy losses, there were some losses from the program. It was not trading losses as such, but it was the design of the program that made that there were some losses. Granted, and we all knew why the government then had to do the gold for reserve, oil program. But the current answer of the governor is so, it begs more questions than answers. And I think that the government, as he promised, will have to come more. I think that in 2025, they will then make a statement about this to justify that there were losses. But you can't find it in any report of the Bank of Ghana. That occasion that there were some 3 billion losses from gold for reserve program for 2024. And I think that as a governor of the Bank of Ghana, an institution of that nature, fidelity to data, he ought to be, you want to be honest to the good program with data. You don't give data to people, and when they are not asking you to give it the source of the data, you are found wanting. And I think that is just the only unfortunate part of the governor's presentation. Again, from his presentation, he admitted that those trading losses is not in the good interest of the country, and that we must find a way of addressing them. He's not thinking of engaging with the central government, the Minister of Finance, to make sure that the Minister of Ghana accounts by paying for that particular losses to the Bank of Ghana, so that their books will be safe, and the central government will record fiscal deficit as a policy cost. They will raise this issue. Other people were arguing that, it is okay to make those losses because there are some gains. But the governor begs to disagree with those particular people, that we cannot continue a program of that nature, trading in gold, making losses because we want to build reserves. And I argue, and the details will expose that the losses are not just due to gold for reserves. The losses are due to the gold trading program, which is different from the gold for reserves. And the governor knows that. They are not talking about that. And they must tell the good people. And that's why we are calling for full parliamentary inquiry in the matter. And then we'll be able to expose the difference between the gold trading program, which seeks to do gold for forex, and the gold for reserve program, which basically is set to accumulate your reserves. Remember, the 10 billion that the gold board is attributing as their success is not part of the reserves. It's actually the gold for forex program. And that is part of the losses, and it's not talking about that.
Okay. I noticed, so your concern is the source of the data. So he talks about audited report. Are you doubting that the 2022, 2023, and 2024 reports he submitted are audited and published reports? You are doubting that?
I'm not doubting the audited report. I'm saying that nowhere in those 2023, 2024 audited report will you find the figures he's mentioning, except the figures in respect of gold for oil. That's the point I'm making.
So they don't tally?
They are basically not in the report. And he's making those particular figures up. He's probably making it from. So, and I think that at the end of the day, they will use some administrative data mining process or expose rationalization of some costs to justify it. But I think that
but if they were to massage the figure, why wouldn't even in the massage announce losses? And again, 2024, 2023, it does not affect this government. So why would they be interested? I guess the one they'll be interested in is 2025, and that he has said to us the data would be ready by March.
Because there were no losses for gold for reserve program in 2022, 2023, 2024, and because there are losses in 2025, they will want to justify that the losses were already there.
Okay. Did you, when you were incompetent, did your party, when it was in government, publish those reports as of that time? Did those reports capture whether there were losses or gains?
That's one point I'm making, that for the gold for reserve program, over the years, 2023, 2024, I know, have reported the losses. And the 2024 report is actually about our verdict. It has reported. And actually, that report was supervised by Asiama.
As
he
deputy.
Was the governor.
Okay.
And 2024 report, he was the governor.
Okay.
When that particular account was audited. If there were losses, why couldn't he ensure that those losses reflect in the report? You get the point? So it is after the issues, after the facts, that is now trying so hard to either make a figure up or trying to justify the historic and unprecedented losses on the fact that there were some losses in the past. But you monitored, you supervised an audit in 2024. That figure did not apply. If you go to page 59 specifically of the annual report and financial statement, you cannot find that.
Now he says that the data will be ready in March. So we wait to see what will be contained in the report in March. But that having been said, he has talked about the gold for oil that was introduced by your party in government. He says the cancellation of same has not been felt, and which then goes to say that it was a needless policy, and that the audit is actually ongoing. He said 2 months ago there was clearance for the auditing to happen.
So he's putting the cart before the horse. That's the first thing.
I think
you're asking for an audit.
No, but he said that there were no queues at pump stations, which was...
I'll come to address that. You are putting the cart before the horse because you said there's an audit. Wait for the audit. That's it. You said they were not full increase. Has it factored in the fact that global prices of oil is not increasing? Has it factored in that particular fact? And you don't do such as an economist because you want to appreciate the fool. You have to tell us that, well, in 2024, global prices of oil was increasing, and then gold for oil was there. In 2025, global prices of oil are increasing, and then gold prices is not there. So therefore, it couldn't have been for the gold for oil program. That is how we do sound comparative analysis. But you don't just say that, we have removed the program and because prices of fuel are not going up. In the first place, at that time we were doing the program, there was also foreign exchange instability. So you need to put all that into the equation before you can come to that determination. And I think that, the governor is being more political than being professional, and is of course expected. But if you want me to go with your argument that, yes, the program did not have the impact, then give me the volumes of fuel imported, giving the prices, the trend in prices for the year, and compare that with the trend of prices in 2024. And I'll then be convinced, and I'll then go with the argument that, yes, it's worth it for the program to be cancelled because it was not giving the intended policy effect and that we are getting losses from it. This is the only way I can go with the governor.
Very well.
Otherwise, there are political statements that we have to just live with.
Thank you for speaking to us here.
Thank you very much.
That's Dr. Kabir Otia Mahama. He is NPP Member of Parliament for Wale Wale, a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Imagine making or collecting all payments without leaving your chair. Sounds like magic, right? Nah, it's Stanbic Pay.
As the Chief Financial Director of SBA Holdings Limited, payments from clients flow like magic through Stanbic Pay.
From school fees to utilities, government and statutory payment to investment, insurance payment, Hajj payment, and more. Just log on to Stanbic Pay and you're set for life. No Stanbic account, no queues, no stress, no last-minute panic.
Cherish your time and live happier in safety and convenience.
Just visit stanbicbank.com.gh or call 030-340-9212 or 055-676-0683 to get started.
10 years of memories, 10 years of adventure, 10 years of culture and crazy good vibes. This March, we are turning it all the way up from the 1st to the 8th of March 2026. 8 days, 14 regions, one legendary caravan. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. Expect non-stop fun, breathtaking views, deep cultural immersion, and unforgettable moments. This is more than a trip. It's culture in motion, adventure without limbs. Seats are limited, and this is the 10th anniversary edition. You cannot miss this. Call 0205-973-973 or 0558-973-973 to secure your seat. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi FM. Terms and conditions apply. The Heritage Caravan 2026. Experience Ghana like never before.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Oh, Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no.
But I have to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look. The video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Oh, jump on now.
Go, the go. Go me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, you go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
The go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. There's some disturbing news from the Eastern region. The correspondent of Peace FM in the Eastern region, we are told, was assaulted today by a police officer. His name is Michael Akrofi. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sandra.
I'm just learning of an assault on you by a police officer. What happened to you?
Okay, very well. So this incident happened on Thursday in the morning around 9:22 a.m. I went to the Achim Kukwentumi to cover a protest by farmers against the destruction of their crops by Fulani herdsmen and their cattle. So I got there a bit late, and then when I got there, they were, going to the municipal assembly to give their petition to the MC. So I was then driving. I drove past the demonstrators, and then attempted to go and then park my car and wait for them at the assembly. So as I drove past the demonstrators, a few meters ahead of me, I saw the police officer who is an inspector. So he stopped me, and so before I was driving past them, I had a call actually from a member of Council of State in the region who was also wants me to do something for her. So whilst I was speaking with her, and then the officer stopped me and questioned me why I'm on phone. Then I told him that I'm on phone with a state official. Then he asked me to drop the call. And I told him that, it's an important person, so I can't drop the call. Besides, I have once met him, so I thought he can make me out that, you are so-and-so person, then go. But he couldn't. So I went ahead. Actually, I declined cutting the call or stopping the call. So I proceeded with the call to the assembly to wait for the demonstrators. So when I parked my car under a mango tree waiting for the demonstrators, all of a sudden I saw this inspector coming towards my direction with insults. Foolish boy, who do you think you are? Is it because you work with the assembly or the MCE? That's why you feel too big to do whatever you want? I instructed you to dump the call or cut the call, and you still went ahead making the call. And I told him, who are you referring to? He said, you. Then I said, on what grounds can you insult me? Do you know me? Besides, I don't work with the assembly, neither with the MCE. So it's a business allegation you are making. He said, hey. Then I said, so you are calling me a foolish boy? Then you are a foolish officer. So I retaliated, and then it became very furious. He became very furious, and he was throwing words at me, which I also did the same. So eventually he asked one of his colleagues, a junior rank officer, to bring handcuffs to come and handcuff me because I've disrespected him. Then I told him that here it will never happen because I was on phone in my car. And no matter where the assembly is, the road leading to the assembly is in a deplorable state. You can't speed or, go above 40 on that stretch. So I wasn't speeding, and besides, I wasn't behind the demonstrators, where probably if I lose control, I may run into the demonstrators. No. So I drove past them, And then I decided to take the lead and go and wait for them whilst I was on call with the Council of State member. So when that happened, he tempted together with the junior officer to handcuff me, which I resisted. I never gave up that they should handcuff me. So I took lead of them to the assembly when I saw the MC declining from his office down to come and receive his petition from the demonstrators. So whilst I was going, one of the officers whom he came with at my back tried to pull me, which I noticed earlier, and then I came down. Then he tried a second time where I had my back, some noise, and then I said, what are these people up to? So suddenly, then the district deputy crime officer rushed, and then the crime officer rushed to the scene, and then find out from the colleague I was with. He's a local journalist in Tafu area, whom I picked on my way to the assembly. So he asked him, who am I? Then the colleague told the district deputy commander and then the crime officer that, I'm so and so. Then they came to realization that it's a wrong person that they are doing that to. So eventually the district commander, the deputy commander, and then the crime officer came to apologize on behalf of the guys of their conduct. Then I said, it's the same place. Quite recently, you had an issue with a resident where some youth mobilized to burn down the police station. And the same procedure you are employing on me. Because you went to pick a suspect where the suspect declined coming to the station, and allegedly you wrongly handled the suspect. And then when the suspect got to the station, he was weak. You proceeded to the hospital with the suspect, and the suspect gave up there. So imagine I'm just ordinary person on the street, and you do this to me. I mean, what will come out of this? If I'm from this area and some youth are behind me, it will not do you people well. So in fact, I took the apology from the deputy commander, who is by name Mr. Ampratun, and then the crime officer. So later, after I did my interviews and I was going back to my car and proceed to wherever I'm being needed, I came to meet the inspector. He's called Inspector Boama also, behind my car, and he said, haven't you seen a junior inspector like my type before? Like what I would do to you here, you will regret. And I told him, wow, so it was deliberate, eh? I can take him on anywhere I want to. Then I told him that, Kati, leave my car and let me go. So I drove off and left the scene. So when I drove to Bunsu and then I got down from the car, I realized that I have some sharp pain at my back up to my neck. And I said, wow, this might be the attempt by these guys and what they did to me at the assembly that has triggered this pain. So I actually drove back to Koforidua. It wasn't easy for me, but I managed. Then came to their police headquarters to lodge official complaint and picked up a police health report to the St. Joseph Hospital. And truly, I was seen by 2 doctors, and some injections were administered on me, and then they gave me some painkillers to control the pain. So from Thursday in the evening, I reported to my management about the incident where they were also support, and then they are waiting to hear from the police what they will say. So we were waiting up to today when some of my colleagues who heard the incident or who were with me and heard of the issue also came out with publication on it, and the GJA in the Eastern region has also come out with a release on that to condemn that unfortunate attack on me. Okay. And it's hard time we talk to the police because on their conduct. Most of them are doing well, but some of them, the junior ones who have been promoted, are abusing power. I don't know whether it was power drunk or what came over him. And then he acted like that. Okay. So that was all that happened.
Okay, thank you. I have a few more questions, but just a point I need to make to you. As part of a group of Fulani people that have been making a campaign and educating people on the use of our ethnic group, I would encourage you in your report not to say Fulani herdsmen unless you spoke to them and they told you they were Fulani herdsmen, because in Eastern region there's a possibility that they were Krobo herdsmen or Ever herdsmen or Achim herdsmen.
I've taken note of that.
Yeah, so if you say herdsmen, you're all right, but to say Fulani herdsmen, we take strong exception to that.
Sorry,
no, it's fine.
Sorry,
Thank you. It's just we are learning each other. So on the physical assault itself, you said that it was on your way to Kufrido that you felt the pain. Does it mean that when you were being assaulted, you didn't feel it? Or is it the case that you were assaulted but you didn't know, you only felt it later?
No, I was assaulted there.
So what was the nature of the assault? Did they use something to beat you? Or
No. He used his person. So he used his hand around my neck and pushed me backwards unconsciously. And then I heard some minor click at my back, but I couldn't mind. So I never felt anything. So when I sat down for a while in the car driving to the place and I was getting down, that's where I started feeling the pains.
Okay. Did you get his details, this person who did this to you, this police officer?
Okay, very well. So they were not in name tags, but this afternoon I went to the regional police command, and then I understand he's been there to also provide his statement, and I know he's Inspector Boama. That's the only name that I picked this afternoon from the police headquarters.
Okay, next issue. You were on the phone while driving.
Yes.
And that was really the reason the policeman got into this spectacle with you.
Exactly.
But you do know that per the road traffic regulation, operating a vehicle and engaging also a telecommunication device is unlawful.
Yeah, so Omaro, that place, I made it clear to him that if it's a traffic offense, the best thing is that I have a car number, I have my license, you can take my details, and then probably if the worst comes, that's to out with it. So, and he says I've challenged him, which I know. But Omar, you and I think we are not naive to the law. And then probably when something of this happens, sometimes because of our friendship with them, they will say, "Oh, you are so and so," and you go. Actually, left my headset at home because I was in a hurry to go. I usually use Bluetooth or headset most of the times in my car. And with this, I even lowered my glasses down, and then I spoke with him. So I pulled out for him to see me because I've been with him at a place before where I thought he can make me out and say, "Oh, you are so and so, go." And that place, as I said earlier, is not a motorable place. The road is leading to the assembly. It's very bad. So it's not, you can't even go beyond 40.
I think so. So the law doesn't say you are wrong when you are at a certain. It simply says just let me land my question. It just simply says do not operate a motor vehicle and also be using a telecommunication device. So do you think if you had stopped, because they asked you to stop and you were challenging them, if you had stopped, do you not think that you could have simply introduced yourself and possibly apologized and explained and it would have let you go? But otherwise, from your own narration now, clearly you have broken the law. You admit to that. Okay, so it's not like I've broken the law. Well, if I've broken the law, I'm not above the law actually. And so are you willing to submit yourself if they say they wanted to bring an action against you on that? Would you submit yourself to that while you also then deal with the issue of assault on you? Okay, so the issue is that when he stopped me, I stopped. I introduced myself. No, I did not even introduce myself. I told the officer I'm on the phone with so and so. So I'm going to park the car there. Then I drove off. And because I did not cut the call, that's it. So fine. So you told him you parked, but you drove off. I mean, it's almost like you challenged him. You resisted. So from the assembly, from where the incident happened to the assembly, it's just a walking distance. It's not that far. Okay, yes, I understand that I was on phone while driving to the place. That's perfectly. So if he said that, okay, I'm processing you for court, that's fine. But he never said that. But he rather came with an insult
on me.
But you resisted the arrest as well. That's also another problem for you, isn't it?
So what triggered that? He came, he didn't say he's arresting me for that. He came with an insult, unprintable words, full of me. Okay. So that doesn't justify that I'm wrong or not. Okay. He came with an insult. Officer, somebody has wronged or has made a mistake, and you want to prosecute or take the person on. You don't start with insult, harsh words on the person, foolish boy. Meanwhile, probably I'm older than him. And then I'm not saying that I respect the uniform he's wearing, but he has no basis, no right to insult me as a civilian like that on the street.
Have you formally petitioned the police service on this matter, or you are expecting that the GJ will deal with it for you and your management?
I went to the police station actually to lodge a complaint, official complaint about this incident.
Very well.
And then they issued the police hospital sheet to me to go to the hospital, and I came back with it. Okay. And then I was invited this afternoon.
Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Yes, you too.
That's Michael Akrofi. He is the Eastern Regional Correspondent of Peace FM. Stephen Ampim Daku Cranton is the Eastern Regional Chairman of the Ghana Journalists Association. Mr. Ampim Daku Cranton, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, brother.
So you are clearly in support of your colleague, our colleague, because he's a journalist and he has reported an assault on him. But based on the interview I've just done with him, it appears he may have also engaged in an act that could be considered an obstruction of a police officer and even possibility of breaking the law. How would you weigh the two to say whether or not he was resisting an arrest was right and whether he was engaging in an arrestable offense? How do you marry that versus what the police officer did to him?
Thank you very much. Greetings to your listeners. And first of all, we're talking about the assault on the journalist. If you ask me, how do I weigh the two? One, if you say somebody is resisting an arrest, that is where the person has been told you have done A, B, C, D, so we are arresting you. And then the person says, you can't, or I will not allow you to arrest me. That is the resistance that we are talking about. But here, the police officer didn't say, you have done A, B, C, D, so I'm arresting you, and our colleague resisted the arrest. I think we have to look at that scenario in the first place. Because he was struggled at the back, not even in front of him, telling him that you have done this, so stand there, we are taking you to the police station. So please, I think we have to look at the incident in the first place. Now, the report says that he was on duty because he was on assignment to go and cover the demonstration at the point where the farmers were sending their petition to the assembly. So he was on duty. And our work tells us sometimes you'll be on duty and there will be a phone call. Even as you are in the studio now, there can be an emergency call to you. Whilst we know we don't pay calls at the studio whilst we are working. But if there is an emergency call, sometimes there is an exception to certain laws. So you can decide to pick because it's an emergency call. So looking at the situation, our brother's call that he picked, it was an emergency call.
But can an emergency call be an exception to the rule on using mobile phones while driving?
My brother, I am saying to every rule, sometimes based on the situation, it can be or it can be so. I hope you understand me.
Yeah, I get you, except that in this one, the exception has to be provided for in law. I do not think that the law says if you're driving and you receive a call from a Council of State member, you can pick that call and speak on your phone even though you are driving. I think the law is you park and then pick the call or make the call and continue.
Yes, it's true. What you are saying is true. But sometimes you can even pick the call and say, oh, I am driving, so let me park and then talk to you.
Except that in this case, he said that he was talking. He said in this case he was talking. The policeman asked him to stop. He still continued talking on the phone and also driving until he went to park at the assembly. That's what he said.
Yes, two wrongs never makes the right.
Okay.
We are looking at the assault. The fact that he saw him making the call while driving doesn't warrant him as a police officer to take the law into his own hands. I hope you understand it, my brother.
I get you. So what do you want to see done now, or what do you want to be done by GJ? What do you want to see done or done?
GJA, we are there to protect our brothers, our sisters, and our colleagues. The fact that a person mistakenly did that doesn't warrant you to assault the person.
So what do you want to see done?
We are against the attack. We are against the attack. If you look at the petition we submitted, it is a petition that is talking against the attack on the journalist. We are not saying our brother, what he did is right or is wrong. Fine, if what he did is wrong, make sure you take him to the police station. Report him, then the law takes its course. But you don't take the law into your own hands and try to do what you are doing.
I'm not very good in the tree language, but I think there's a proverb to the effect that if you advise the fish, you also advise the cat or something like that. Would you want to possibly advise our brother Michael Akrofi on the do's and don'ts of using a driving and talking on the phone, while you also ask the police to deal with their own?
We all know that this profession, we have our ethics. We have our ethics that guides us in the work that we do. So he knows it. And if you can ask him, when he reported the incident, we have to question him and ask him what really happened. He said it, we spoke against that.
Okay.
That is why in the statement, we just strictly spoke about the attack on him.
Very well. Thank you for speaking to us, sir.
You're welcome.
That's Stephen Ampim Dako Cranton. He's the Eastern Regional Chairman of the Ghana Journalists Association. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll be back with more. Please stay with us.
There as it happens.
Hey, is it my TV or my eyes? Why? If you say everything clear past my future.
Charlie, it's not your eyes, it's the TCL C6K QD Mini LED TV.
With QD Mini LED technology, you get deep blacks, bright highlights, and colors so real. See, even the referee's board head, they shine.
Movies, football, gaming, every detail sharp like a new razor blade.
If your old TV they show blare blare, Charlie, it's time to upgrade.
Visit any Electroland Ghana shop for yours and enter the ongoing Achedia promo. TCL C6K QD Mini LED TV. TCL, inspire greatness.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mind says be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand they go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
We are officially sold out. 10 years of memories, 10 years of adventure, 10 years of culture and crazy good vibes. This March, we're turning it all the way up from the 1st to the 8th of March 2026. 8 days, 14 regions, one legendary caravan. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. Expect non-stop fun, breathtaking views, deep cultural immersion, and unforgettable moments. This is more than a trip. It's culture in motion, adventure without limits. Pack your bags and get ready. 10 years of the Heritage Caravan, experiencing the sights and sounds of Ghana. You cannot miss this. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi 97.3 FM. Terms and conditions apply. Heritage Caravan 2026. Experience Ghana like never before.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sandamad here with Fafa Melody Potife. Now I have two managers here in Citi FM and Channel 1 TV tonight in studio. Now, it's for good news. The first person I have is in studio here, Fred Tete Jabano, is our head of current affairs. Fred, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I also have Frima Edunyami. She's head of events and partnerships, Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. She is on the phone line. Frims, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Sandra.
Frima, every March for the past 10 years, we organize an experience of a lifetime where Ghanaians and even non-Ghanaians who are interested come to embark on an 8-day trip called the Heritage Caravan with us. In fact, from last year, people kept asking, when are you going to do the caravan? When are you going to announce the figures? Then last week, we did a flyer announcing that, and we announced on the radio that we're going to announce today, this morning. And then you were on the breakfast show, and you made the announcement that yes, it's open. Anybody who wants to come on the Heritage Caravan may please come and make payment. 5 hours later, I saw an artwork saying, we've sold out. Tell me the story about Heritage Caravan. Hello, Frima?
Yes, Sandra.
Yes. So
yeah, so
clearly the level of excitement is beyond the roofs.
It is. And, so this isn't what we were expecting. We knew that, yes, based on last year's experience, it was going to be sold out pretty soon, but not in 5 hours. But this is what happened. And I also believe it is out of the testimonies out there. It is out of what people see, during the trip on social media, by word of mouth, and also after the trip, what they watch on TV. The excitement levels are very high, and for Heritage Caravan, you just can't go wrong. And it also because of how much we charge for this experience, because if you put everything together, you realize that by end of day 1 or day 2, in fact, everything we paid is gone. But we maintain and sustain the energy, the quality, everything that it comes with to give our patrons a great experience. So really, we are not too surprised that this is happening.
Frema, typically this conversation should have been asking people to come and reserve and buy a ticket for the trip. That's what you and I should have been doing, where I would be asking you, so how much per head? And you will say to me, 15,000 cedis and all of that. And then if you wanted to have your own room, 19,500. But we can't even talk about that anymore because we've sold out. You had that conversation, Bernard, on the breakfast show. And we've sold. So does it mean that if I just scheduled and took my annual leave for 1st of March, and I want to go on the caravan. That's why I did that. There is no way. There's no even once. The mates can get up for you to sit down. That kind of seat. Even that one we don't have.
No, we don't have. We don't have. You see, that is why this year, normally we don't put out any notice that we are going to make the announcement and all that. So you will hear about registration is open on air, and then later you'll also hear about payments are now open. But this time around, we took away the registration bit, and that is why we gave people the notice that on Monday we are going to make the announcement, and so people should just get ready. So in fact, if you couldn't get any slots today, it means that we have to think about 2027.
People are tweeting at me saying, "Oh, let's add another one in the year," and they are even giving us suggesting routes. Some are saying use the Western Corridor. Some are saying is the Eastern Corridor. Can we do that? Can we take 4 more buses later this year for people who missed it this time around? Or can we increase the buses for people who say, listen, I have been desperately wanting to go on this trip. Your 4 buses are full, but I want to join. Please add 1 more bus or 2 buses. Is that possible?
So to start with, a lot of things go into the planning of the Heritage Caravan. A lot of work go into it, So before you hear registration is open, or now we are ready, you hear the announcement or see the TVC, it means that it's been months of preparations. Okay, so to do March and also come back to now start the whole process again, that is nearly impossible because of what it takes, because sometimes you have to go to almost all these hotels physically, and that is another mini caravan on its own, because we are visited. Because 1 year is a long time, so you can't just assume that how the hotels were, how the routes were, will be the same, 12 months later. So it also means that we need to visit all these places before we can conclude. Let's also not forget that we keep also using different hotels. So scouting for the hotels, looking at what works for the experience and all that, it doesn't take just 3 months. It takes quite a longer period than that. So that alone will not permit us, to do that twice in a year. Another thing too is last year we went with 3 buses. This year we decided that, okay, if for nothing at all, 10 years down the line, let's just scale up a little bit. So we added an extra bus. But Sandra, the reality is, for the number of people who want to be on the Heritage Caravan, it is not about the buses. Even if today we add 2 extra buses, we still can't take everybody. Another thing is with accommodation. Now, when we are in Accra, a lot of us who don't really move out of the Accra, the Kumasi, the Takoradi to other parts of the country, pretty much think that maybe the whole of Ghana is like Accra, it's like Kumasi, but the story is different, and you and I know that. So when you move from Accra, when you move from Kumasi and other big cities, you realize that accommodation is a problem. The kind of experience we are giving, so for instance, day 1, we are sleeping at Royal Citi. Day 2, we are going to Ghana, we are going to Modern City, we will be at the Palms by Eagle. So when you look at all these hotels, they are of a certain class. And you wouldn't want to take people, put a group in maybe Royal Citi and the other ones in a certain guest house. No. And this is a real challenge that goes beyond Channel 1 TV and Citi FM. This is a national problem. We can't do much about it, but we try as much as possible to get as many people as possible, So these are some of the challenges that will not permit us to add on or, do other things.
So, Frima, for now, if you manage to beat the deadline today, you manage to buy a ticket, you just stay put, an announcement will come from the events team, I'm sure. Departure is on 1st March. Return on 8th March. I almost said 8th December. So that has been sorted. I'm excited listening to you this morning on Bernard's show, Breakfast Show, that there will be 2 nights in Tamale, 2 nights in Western Region. It sounds great. I think people should just start. So people should just start. You usually send a list of things people should come along with, right? So
yes, we do that.
So you send the travel pack and everything to the people.
Yeah, so now what's going to happen is for those who were able to secure their seats, we are going to be dealing with them directly. So some of these information will not come on air.
Okay.
No, because now we are dealing with them directly with their info packs, with how they should prepare, what will be expected, what they need to do, and all that. So from now, we'll be sharing information with them as we move on till the departure day.
We'll talk more because Heritage Month coming up. Thank you so much, Frema, for speaking to us.
Thank you, Sanda.
Frema Edunyami is head of events and partnerships here at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. Now, let me come to the other head, Fred Tetejabon, head of current affairs production. Fred, tomorrow we are doing a big roundtable discussion, and it has to do with President Mahama's first anniversary in office for his second term.
Exactly.
What are we planning to do?
So we are going to, like you said, we are going to assess and evaluate John Mahama's first year in his second term. This evaluation is going to be done by people within policy and the civil society space. We are going to look at 6 critical sectors within this government. It would look at the economy, would look at the education sector, we'll look at roads and infrastructure, we'll look at mining and environment, agriculture, governance and anti-corruption. Why?
We'll see how he's fared on all these fronts.
He's fared on all, and these are important because one, you talk about John Mahama's economy. So far, what has he done? Where is the economy heading? You've had your politicians make their own assessment of what the economy is like. You look at education. What new changes has he brought? What has he improved? Has it gone bad?
Okay.
It is there. So
are we going to bring his ministers to respond to these questions, or we have independent minds we are bringing in to respond
so
to?
we have people within the policy and the civil society space coming to do the assessment. So we have someone coming from the economic sector, having Professor William Babwaten, who is the Vice Chancellor of the Methodist University. He's also an economist. We are looking at Kofi Asare of EduWatch, who will be discussing the education sector. We have David Ofusudote of AAB and David, who will be looking at roads and infrastructure. We have the mining and environmental scientist, Dr. Ekua Odum, who will look at the environment part of it, which has been a big discussion under John Mahama's administration, talking about Galamsey. Then we have Professor Roger Canton, a research scientist. He's been in the agricultural space for a very long time, who would be engaging us on the agricultural sector and the performance of the John Mahama administration in the agricultural sector. Then governance and anti-corruption. It's also a big thing. Looking at oral, looking at the people who have been pursuing, look at a number of court cases going there. We have Executive Director of GI, Mariada, coming to do that. So this starts at 11 a.m. on Channel 1 TV and Citi FM, 11 to 2 p.m.
Tomorrow.
You should tune in both on radio, on radio and on TV, and you'd get insightful discussion with regards to John Mahama's 1 year.
Thank you so much. Fred Tetejabano is our head of current affairs here at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. Before we do business news, and on Point Blank tonight, my guest is the NDC Member of Parliament for Dodo Diodio. Fafa has a story for us that would affect our aviation space. Fafa.
The safety of Ghana's airspace could be at risk as the Ghana Air Traffic Safety Electronics Association prepares to strike from January 15 over unpaid salaries and welfare concerns. The group accuses management of bad faith and inconsistent positions on whether its members are essential workers, a matter before the National Labour Commission. President of the association, David Annan-Mensah, warns members will lay down tools if issues remain unresolved by Thursday.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News. On Eyewitness News, I am Melody Fafa. But let's settle for the details now. The Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, is calling for comprehensive reforms in Ghana's power sector to curb the accumulation of liabilities. This follows the government's payment of approximately $1.47 billion to clear energy sector debt. Policy lead for petroleum and conventional energy at ACEP, Kojo Yauche, tells Citi Business News that while the payment aligns with the national budget, it highlights the urgent need for lasting reforms to avoid recurring debt and fiscal strain.
We need to deepen the reforms that are currently ongoing around visibility of the revenues that are collected by ECG. We need to strengthen the revenue collection efficiency of ECG to make sure that, the power that it sells is able to recover the revenue that is supposed to recover from the power sales. That is the only way you can assure that to a greater extent you will not be the power sector will not be putting this much fiscal burden on the budget and on the Ghanaian people, because eventually we pay one way or the other by sacrificed spending that the government would have had to do towards our welfare as a people.
Kojo Yauche is policy lead for petroleum and conventional energy at Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEM. Away from that, the Bank of Ghana has confirmed that $10 billion has been injected into the economy since 2025 to support exchange rate stability and strengthen national reserves. According to BOG, the interventions included payment to independent power producers, IPPs, and government bondholders. Speaking at a Public Accounts Committee session, BOG Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama and Head of Financial Markets Niso Aholu said the measures were aimed at sustaining financial stability and ensuring confidence in the city.
In terms of our support for the market this year, I would say overall it will be close to about 10 billion.
10 billion USD or Ghana cedis.
$10 billion on the FS market.
And then on the Ghana cedi?
Supporting the market will be equivalent to withdrawal of cedis. So that component will be, if we take an average rate of about 10.5 and multiply by the 10 billion, that should give somewhere around maybe 15 billion in terms of withdrawal of cedi liquidity. That is what we have done this year.
But, Madam Chair, respectfully, I think we have to correct the impression that we pumped 10 billion into the market. No. The word we use now is intermediation. The 10 billion he's mentioning consists of several things. The payments to IPPs. Remember, IPPs were going to shut down. All the money we paid them is part of it. Bondholders who wanted to take out their monies. All the monies we paid to them is part of this. So it is not the intervention, as you call it. We emphasized more on intermediating all these flows, at the same time building reserves.
Well, you heard BOG Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama, and early on you heard Nisowa Aholu, Head of Financial Markets, speaking at today's Public Accounts Committee session. Well, that will be all for Citi Business News. On Eyewitness News, I am Melody Fafa, but if up next is Point Blank.
Fidelity Bank say save and win. Muntio. Sikaboom. Just to post it and begin. Every 500 CDs you keep for a month, you get 1 point all at once. More deposits, gets more points in. More points, more cash you feel win. How many points? 1 point every 500 CDs. What if you win? 5,000 CDs monthly. And the grand prize? Hey! 100,000 Ghana CDs.
Don't wait. Visit any Fidelity branch or agent nationwide to deposit in multiples of 500 CDs. The more you deposit, the better your chances to win 5,000 CDs monthly and 100,000 CDs in the grand draw. Terms and conditions apply. Win with us. Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
Sikaboom.
This is an NLA approved promo, now running on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamo. The Point Blank tonight is focusing on Kwame Nkrumah's constituency. Yes, I mean Osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He was MP for Ododo. He won the election from prison. Hard guy. Over the decades, the constituency has changed hands. And today, the constituency is in the hands of the NDC's Alfred Niko Tiashi. Honorable, you're welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you, my brother.
First of all, congratulations. So you won the primaries after Neil Antivandapoy decided not to go. You won the primaries. You went on to win the main elections. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How does it make you feel?
It made me feel humbled, honestly. Yeah, I feel humbled.
Before I even talk to you about how you're managing the constituency, who are you?
So I am Niko Tiashi. Alfred is my first name. I was born in Kolewoko. I lived in Jamestown, Afiena. I did a lot of my youthful, association in Bukom. And then I did a lot of community engagements, community development work in what we call today Sodom and Gomorrah, Old Fadama. Yeah, so I grew up there. I went to St. Mary's GSS. I proceeded to SSS at Oso Presby. And then I worked with a CBO called Senkosat, Center for Community Studies, Action and Development, whilst I was doing community service, and then to PPAG, where I worked with their Young and Wise Center and their research department for quite a while. I went to Legon to do my diploma, 2-year diploma, Youth and Development Work and Social Studies, and then to GIMPA for my bachelor's in public administration. Then I did my master's as well in governance and leadership.
Interesting CVs. I almost feel like you're sitting before the appointments committee. Maybe President Mama will give you a position.
Well, God willing.
But you are the typical example of the stereotype that some Ghana people don't travel. Everything you have done so far has been within a 3-kilometer radius. I think the farthest you have gone was Legon. Also Presec, St. Mary's, everything in the
amazingly, my dad wanted me to become a medical doctor, know, because we are very related to the Mortons. My great-grandmother was a
Dr. Morton?
Yes, my great-grandmother was a Morton. Otherwise, if she were male, I would have been a Morton as well. And, we lived together near Lasha Morton. Dr. Morton is my uncle. He was my uncle, so. And I used to visit the place, clinic at Adabaka a lot.
Interesting.
Yes.
So what's your profession?
I am a public administrator. I also do a lot of public policy as well.
But you haven't done any public, have you held any party office before?
Party
office, like say youth or constituency, that kind of thing.
Well, so I started as a member of a branch, and then I became a branch secretary. I also served as a ward coordinator. I became an assembly member. And then constituency deputy propaganda secretary. And then I went on to become, constituency secretary.
You have done plenty. You don't look that old, though. Are you an old man?
I think
I'm looking
at
you
early.
Your face looks young, but the grey beard is worrying me now. I'm not sure whether.
In fact, grey is a family thing. If you see my kid brother, you marvel. You think he's even older than I am.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. So I started quite early, in school. Started, community work, peer educator. At one point, I became a child's rights ambassador under the UN Convention back then. And so I was doing a lot of youth work. So it was through that my late grandfather, former Chief Justice D.F. Fanan, who told my mom he wants me to do politics. I didn't even know what it was. So apparently I realized I had one foot in there doing social work throughout. And somehow it just clicked, and You know, so I started quite early.
Yeah, you're representing Ododo-Diodio. What kind of constituency is Ododo-Diodio? Apart from the fact that we like the name, it's also a constituency on election night that we really look forward to. I mean, for what it's worth, the last election before the one you won, your MP was arrested and detained throughout the night while coalition was happening. I recall that very well. And that there's some small clash somewhere, or there's a big party rally, final rally happening at Manchagbona. So your constituency is an interesting one, but talk to me about it as the man who represents. What kind of constituency is Ododo-Diodio?
Well, Ododo-Diodio is such as normal a constituency as every other, except that culture, you know, makes it diverse from quite a number of other constituencies. We are very peace-loving people. We, you know, care about each other. Ododo-Diodio is such a constituency where when you touch one, you touch all, where we tend to be there for each other. And so it makes it very difficult for you to break through. And if you do, it turns out into kind of a battle, because so yes, Ododo-Diodio is that kind. Our people are very hardworking, but for the fact that we hardly, you know, get the opportunity to work because we lack the skills that makes us employable. Over the years, we've had a lot of people, you know, who are going to school, who have graduated out of school, but they are unable to get jobs to do, and so it becomes a demotivational factor for others to want to chart the same path. But trust me, way back in the days when you're looking for the best of doctors, medical doctors, you find them in Ashedu Keteke, Ododo-Diodio. Lawyers, engineers, judges, whatever. But I think there happened to be a gap where there was no continuity, you know, so some way, somehow, we tend to have lost that glitter, you know, and it's one of the things that I'm pushing hard at, you know, igniting again.
Is fishing the biggest profession or work of people in your constituency?
Fishing is one of the two.
Okay, which one is
the
the other two?
You know, the other two, you know, Ododo-Diodio is the central market district of Accra.
Okay.
You know, so largely our people do trading. Of course, we've had, because it's a heterogeneous society, we had others also coming in and all that. But yes, to the south, you have the fisher folk, where along the coast, largely they do fishing. And then you move towards the north, and then some part of the east, you see that they go into trading. They are at Makola,
in my picturing of your constituency, I see it mostly as a coastal constituency. How deep into Accra or the inner land is your constituency? For instance, where do you share boundary with Kole Klote and also with Ablekuma South, I think? How deep in are you? Because I have a sense that you are just on the coast.
Okay, so the demography is such that we share boundary with Ablekuma, also Klote Kole from the Arts Center, you know, angle where we have the
so that's the eastern side.
Precisely.
So I'm talking about, say, if I were from Adabraka or Circle, where do I enter Ododo-Diodio?
Okay, so from Circle, you get to Cocobod.
Okay, so from Cocobod onwards is
Ododo-Diodio. Yeah, from that traffic light onwards.
Okay.
You go to Ododo-Diodio.
Okay, I know that it's not that deep into land.
Not at all.
Okay.
So it's also because we are very densely populated. So it's not about the size, but it's about the density.
Okay, so the population is huge.
Exactly.
I see. The fishing part, how have you been able to solve their problems? Or what do you think? It's just 1 year. How can you solve their problem? What do they need and what can you do about it?
All right, so currently we are working hard at making the Jamestown Harbour, you know, to function at its fullest capacity. We noticed that a lot were lacking as it is now, and so we are working hard at ensuring that we get something we will call a mini fish processing factory on the side, where they process fish into cans and what have you, and part of it can also be used as animal feed and so on and so forth. We are looking at, you know, establishing a place where the fishermen can mend their nets, like an operational center for them where they come and do maintenance and what have you. We are also looking at, because what they did over there was not mainly for canoe fishermen.
I was going to actually ask you that, because the previous government commissioned this Jamestown fishing harbor. To commission means it's done. They've opened it. So if they've opened it, why are you not operationalizing it?
All right. So before they took over,
I don't want people to say that MPP did it for you.
Before they took over or they took power, His Excellency the late Atta Mills had, sourced funding for that project. His Excellency John Mahama took over, and all documentations were, established for the word go, and then they took over. What we planned to do is not what they have done. In fact, they have reduced, the magnitude of what we would have done there. And when you go to the beach now, you will notice that the docking section is very uncomfortable to the canoe fishermen. So it looks more like mini vessels are what I'm supposed to more or less, dock or operate over there. What we are looking at is we are engaging some foreign partners, especially from the Asia and what have you, to be able to get people to come and establish a section where they manufacture these vessels. Okay,
but wait.
So we can transform.
The former government opened the place. They said it was complete.
Oh, it's not. It was incomplete.
What is incomplete about it? Because manufacturing a vessel will be a secondary issue.
Yes.
What was lacking in a harbor?
Okay.
As of the time they commissioned it.
So the canoes cannot dock.
Okay.
When they attempt to, they find themselves, hanging in there. And so as and when the wind blows, they knock each other.
Okay.
And then they break apart. So it is a challenge for them. They are looking for a skirt, what we call the curtain, to be established all the way to Osikan for them. Just so the tides, will be stopped for them to be able to dock, not have the challenges with the wind blowing and all of that. So it is also another challenge that they are facing. We have issues with fishing nets and light fishing and all those things that are happening that are a challenge.
So those things have to be done before the harbor becomes complete.
For the harbor to operationalize, I think that we've started working on the harbor. We've employed some people to be working in sections of it. For example, we've employed people who are working now at their cold storage area, where they manufacture ice blocks that will stay longer than the normal ice block will melt. We have other places where we are putting in shape now, where the fishmongers can actually sell whatever is brought from the sea. We are now setting up all those places just so that we can put it to full use. There are stalls that we have to let out for people to be able to do merchandise over there and all of that. All these things we are now finalizing it, giving it a final touch, just so we can operationalize.
Before I move from fishing, there's something on my heart. In Shona, beautiful beachfront. We don't have that. Anya and Shona.
It's true.
What can you do about that? Because it's really a problem, and it's not just your constituency, but it's generally along our coasts.
Okay. So before Christmas, I have made it formal now. I had written to the mayor of Accra for an establishment of what we call the Eco Guard. It's where we identify a minimum of 20 persons, where we set them up, train them to be able to do coast guard cleaning and ensuring that there is sanity, at the beaches. Over time, we'll increase the numbers as and when there is need or demand. So that is where we are starting all of these, to ensure that there is cleanliness, there is order.
Is it that there are no toilets? Because I remember there was Gamma project where they were building toilets at half prices. You were not the MP at the time, of course, but what is the status, or do we have enough toilets in your constituency to prevent people from going to the Inshona to do their own business? Or even if there are toilets, people will still go. Is that the case?
Well, that makes me remember a case where a friend of mine who used to attend, I think, St. Thomas Aquinas back in the day, so will come and tell me that there is this, huge drain. Sometimes the students, they go and, have gone to do their own things themselves, and they call it free flow. You know, like call your show here, that kind of thing. It's funny. So yes, they would rather prefer, you know, they are by that place where the wind is blowing, they're enjoying the breeze and doing their own thing without having to.
So is it a mindset thing?
So yes, it's a mindset.
So it's not a lack of facilities?
No. It's a mindset thing. You know, it's a lifestyle that they had gotten used to, and it's something that we are working on. So these coast eco guards are going to be trained enough to deal with some of these things.
Okay.
So they're going to do a lot of education work as well.
Okay.
Sensitization and behavioral change communication.
Your friend, I don't know if he's your friend, but he's definitely a friend of the man you took over from. Edwin Neil Lante, no, he's not Edwin. Neil Lante Banama.
Okay.
He's listening to you.
Wonderful.
He has sent a message.
A very good friend of
He's
mine.
your friend too? Okay, good. He sent a message. He said, it is not true that Atamils got funding and Mahama did all the paperwork. This on the Jamestown Harbour. He says, I was very integral in getting the Jamestown Harbour built. It's entirely a Chinese government grant sourced by the Akufo-Addo government. This is what he said.
That is not true. It was Atamils, the late, who went to
He
China.
said it's a Chinese facility.
Yes, I'm aware it's the Chinese. It's Atamils who went to China, who went to do this negotiation. It wasn't just about Jamestown. It was quite a number of landing harbors that were to be built for Accra.
But when was it started? When was the Jamestown?
But in fact, it started under them.
Under who?
The NPP.
But
then
Atamils
you could ask him if he should tell you.
Just a second. If Atamils died in 2012, 2012 to 2017, why would it take so many years before it started if really there was funding for it from the Mills government?
Okay, so I'm trying to pull a document for you. Yes, so what happened was that His Excellency the late Atamils went to China to engage the Chinese over that. And you know that these things do not happen, within the twinkle of an eye. So when he passed away, the current president, who is His Excellency John Mahama, then took over with the negotiations. You understand? As and when we were ready to roll, it was closer to election. And I'll provide you with all these facts.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can put it out there for people to know. They only took over.
Okay.
They didn't source the funding.
Okay.
They didn't even know how we got there.
Okay.
So my brother should at least abreast himself with,
no problem.
with the facts.
Next issue that people sent me to ask you questions on. They said the current state of the Sempe Primary School. They say it has been abandoned for years. Are you doing anything about the Sempe School?
You know what? The opportunity cost for me being here would have been to join the mayor of Accra and a couple of people, investors who are going to develop the Sempe School. They were on their way whilst I was on my way here.
Oh, okay.
And these are stuff you can easily check.
So there's some plan to deal with it?
Even before that, we had issues with the Salaga market, where after 8 years, the MPP couldn't finish. As I speak to you now, I have done everything possible. Today, when you enter Salaga market, there's a contractor on site, which is, working to make sure that latest by the middle of this year, we'll complete that. We only delayed with the Sempe School because it wasn't a Government of Ghana project, it wasn't a Get Fund project. Okay, then the then mayor, Oko van der Poy, started it under his Millennium City Schools. And so the MPP took over when we lost power, and they left it to rot. You understand? Now I've been able to write to get fund. We've been able to engage other people, and we have had interested parties who are willing to develop the school. Today,
so we expect to see something in the Sempe School.
Certainly.
By which time do you estimate that it will be done?
I think that is quite technical.
Okay, so
but
you can
as far as I know, between the now and the end of the first quarter of this year, the Sempe School will start its development.
What about the Salaga market? By when do you estimate that it will be ready?
By the middle of the year.
By the middle of the year. Okay, let's talk about other things.
Okay.
Youth unemployment. You have a lot of youthful population in your constituency. How are you dealing with youth unemployment?
Okay, so like I said earlier, most of them are not employable because they lack the requisite skills, and so it becomes a challenge. So what we did when we came to power was that we ensured that quite a number of, in fact, majority of all the people employed, workers employed to AMA, Because AMA sits on our land, we were able to employ about 60% of the totality, which is over 100.
AMA is made up of Odododo and Ablekuma
South and Kankwe South.
Okay.
Yes. So we made sure about over 100 of the youth were employed to work with AMA. Some are actually doing towing, others are doing revenue collection, others are in the offices, others are doing cleaning works and what have you. Then also, when the YEA programs were rolled out, youth in fire service, youth in police, youth in immigration, customs, prisons and what have you. We made sure that, and then also ambulance service, national ambulance service, we made sure that almost 300 of our youth within the constituency also benefited, who are actually gainfully working now, with all the security services that they are supposed to be assisting. Aside that, like I told you, the fishing harbor has seen its, first level of employment for those who are going to do security, those who are going to do cleaning, those who are going to be working. In fact, those who are actually working in the cold storage area and what have you, we've made sure. We are also doing our best to find jobs for those who are well educated, those who have gone to the tertiary institution. So what I do is I collect CVs and I move around looking for jobs for them as and when I hear anything, I make sure I'm there just to place 2, 3, 5 here and there.
Okay.
We are seeing results, we are seeing results. Then on the other side, there are those who would want to learn handy skills.
Okay.
Because for handy skills for me is the way to go. And so we put in a lot of them into training. Even before this government took over, I was doing it, and I've intensified it just to make sure we train as many young people over handy skills so they can fend for themselves. And hopefully by the end of this month, we're going to do a graduation for the second batch of quite a number of those who have
we'll come back again next year or 2 years from now to see how you are implementing some of these things. But finally, before we go, how is Parliament treating you? Are you able to catch the speaker's eye? Are you able to debate in Parliament?
Well, I think it's one of the few things I critically chose to learn, because I noticed that you can't just go to Parliament and be walking about thinking you know it all. So yes, I humbled myself enough. I followed leaders, I asked questions. Thankfully, I was able to cut the speaker's eye such that I have been able to ask about 5 questions for the speaker. Yes, the speaker to call the respective ministers to come and answer by questions in Parliament, and I've seen results out of that where things are actually happening. I've been able to debate I think once or twice in my memory serves me right on the budget and so on and so forth.
So you're learning and you're moving.
Yes, by the grace of God.
Wish you all the best, and thank you so much for joining us for Point Blank tonight.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the Honourable Member of Parliament for Odododio.
Now, you and I go way back, right?
We do.
From the days of Forum for Setting the Record Straight.
Really?
I used to, myself and Carlos from Odododio, we used to come to Adubraka.
Carlos,
We did a lot of things. I'm sure over time you forgot.
I forgot him. It's because when power came and you started enjoying it,
don't worry,
how did you call it?
In my case,
I was actually going to ask, are you related to the judge, Justice Ashikoti?
Yes, the family is big.
Oh, okay.
So we are interrelated somehow. All the way from Israel through Ethiopia, Chad, Nigeria, Togo.
It's okay. I'll just
so on and so forth.
That I get it. Alfred Nikotiashi is NDC MP for the radio. He was my guest on Point Blank. I'm Omar Rusandamado. I did this show tonight with Fafa Melody, Portfolio production by Sami Wiafi, Beverly London, Fred Tete Jabano, Kobina Wilson, and Juliana Odamia Sari. Desmond Nyaku helped us with the technical production. New media by Emmanuel Usu and the team. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Up next, I leave you in the hands of Samuel Atamensa with Footprints.